Hey everyone! Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a magnetic board. I really wanted to make one because after we moved into this place, our kitchen already had all of our appliances, which was great because we had none. But the refrigerator is one of those ones where the front doesn't have any magnetic surface. The only magnetic surface is on the sides, but it's also like built into like the wall kind of, so we can't access the sides of the fridge. So I never really thought about how often I would just like throw random stuff up on the fridge, like magnet it up there, like, you know, wedding invites or Christmas cards and stuff like that. I never really realized just how much I used the fridge for that until I moved here and I didn't have a fridge that I could stick stuff up on. So I thought it would be kind of fun to try to make a little magnet board for myself. Of course, you could probably just run to your nearest office supply store and just buy one already made, but this is a DIY channel, so I'm going to try to DIY it. I like the idea that I can basically make it to be exactly how I want. If I really wanted to, I could have like made it into like a crazy shape or something. Spoiler alert, it's just like a rectangle what I do, but like if you had the tools to cut the metal, you could like do like a heart or like a star or anything like that. So that's like a perk for doing it DIY, and like you can use whatever color paint you want or frame you want if you want to frame. So I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be showing you guys how to make today. So let's get started. You'll need a sheet of magnetic metal. I'm using steel, sandpaper, rubbing alcohol, enamel spray paint in your choice of color, a frame that fits the metal, and E6000. To prep the metal for paint, use some sandpaper or a sander to rough up both sides of the metal. Then clean the sides with some rubbing alcohol. Starting with the back, paint the metal sheet. The paint on the back doesn't have to be perfect, you just want a layer of paint to help protect it from getting rusty. Once that's dry, flip it over and then prepare this side for paint again. So I clean the raw side with rubbing alcohol again, just to make sure to get rid of any oils from me touching it. And then paint it. With this side, it's more important to make sure that your paint is done with more care. You want thin layers, and when you go back and forth, stop pressing the nozzle whenever you're changing direction. Normally, like at the ends, you kind of like hover over one spot for like a second more than normal, so that's a spot where you can easily spray too much. So letting go of the nozzle whenever you hit the end helps prevent pooling and running of the paint. I did a few thin layers and then let it dry completely. And then I came back and did a few more layers, let it dry, etc. I repeated this until it didn't look streaky anymore. Then let it dry completely. If you have a frame that fits the metal, then you can just skip the next few steps. I didn't have a pre-made frame that fit, so I had to make one. I have this frame wood that I got from a local reclaimed salvage place. Even though the ends were already cut at an angle, they were pretty rough, so I had to cut a new fresh edge. Then I stuck the sheet in and marked where it ended, and then I cut that piece. I used this piece to help mark where to cut another piece, and then I repeated this for the shorter sides. I glued the pieces together with wood glue, and I used tape to help clamp the pieces together. A lot of tape. A lot. When the glue was dry, I painted the frame, just a simple metallic-y black. And then, back to the normal DIY. Flip the frame over, and if yours has a piece of glass or plastic, then discard that or save it for a future project. All along the little ledge where the metal sheet will go, spread some E6000. You want there to be enough to hold the metal, but not too much where it'll squeeze out on the other side. Place the metal sheet in, and then place a book or some random miscellaneous boxes that you still haven't bothered to go through and unpack on the back to weigh the metal down into the frame. And actually here, I decided to cover the back with some cardboard. Why? Well, I was going to hang this thing with some command hooks, and I thought that I'd stick them right onto the metal to make sure that it's super secure onto the wall. But the metal sits down into the frame too much, so the command hooks wouldn't really be able to reach the wall without making the metal bow significantly. So in my head, I thought that a layer of cardboard would be enough of a buffer, and then I could put the strips onto the cardboard and voila. But later, I rethought that whole thing and I decided that it probably wasn't the best idea. There's a chance that the cardboard could rip off and then cause the whole thing to fall. So ultimately, I ended up putting the strips on the wooden frame, rendering this whole cardboard backing useless. But whatever. Anyway, if you're using a pre-made frame and the frame has a backing already, you could totally just stick that in the way that it's meant to go in. I would still suggest gluing the metal into the frame just to make that super secure, but with the backing you could just throw that in and then like do the little twisty knob things or bend the nails in or secure it however the backing went in before. It kind of just makes it look a little bit more professional. And also, a lot of the pre-made frames have the little kickstand thing on the back, just in case you wanted to prop this up on your desk or something instead of putting it on the wall. So, once you've let the glue cure overnight, it's done. If your frame doesn't have any kind of hanging hardware, you can add some now, or do what I did and use the little command strip Velcro thingies, and yeah, just hang it up. This level that I have is actually magnetic, so I just stuck it on while I was hanging it, which was pretty nice. And there you go. Now you can stick on your magnets. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. I sell prints on Society 6 and InPrint. If you are interested in either of those, the links will be down below. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, and Twitch, and I'll leave the information to all of those down below as well. Thank you to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you are interested in becoming a patron or learning about what Patreon is, I'll leave a link to mine right up here and you can go check it out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.